Energy is a cornerstone to our survival. It's a basic need. Without it, communities couldn't sustain themselves. 2012 marks the United Nations International Year of Sustainable Energy for All. It comes at a time when an estimated 70% of the Pacific region's 10 million people are still without access to energy. Oil, coal and natural gas power approximately 95% of the Pacific region's commercial energy. But they're fast running out at a time when dependence and demand are at an all-time high.
If you look at the Pacific as a whole, the biggest piece of the pie in terms of energy is still fossil fuels. Though various countries have their respective renewable energy targets, energy efficiency targets, but for that matter, at the end of the day, we're still very much reliant on fossil fuels. In terms of electricity generation, there's only a few countries in the Pacific that has these blessings of renewable energy resources. For instance, in Fiji, we have a major component of its electricity generation coming out of hydro. Papua New Guinea as another example, Samoa as another. Apart from these few mentioned countries, the rest of the Pacific are very much reliant on fossil fuels.
Rupeni Mario is a team leader with the Economic Development Division of the Secretariat of the Pacific Community, SPC. Based in Pohnpei in the Federated States of Micronesia, FSM, he leads a team of energy specialists who are implementing a European Union-funded multi-country initiative called the North Pacific ACP Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency Project, NORTHREP.
NORTHREP has this overarching objective, poverty alleviation through access to renewable energy. The other component is reducing reliance on fossil fuels. It's implemented in Marshall Islands, Federated States of Micronesia and Palau. This multi-country program covers, I would say, a whole of sector approach. At the end of the day, it addresses three key areas. One, developing the respective countries so that they have the capacity to sustain renewable energy and energy efficiency. The other component focuses on renewable energy technologies. And the third component is on improved energy efficiency. So you can see that it's quite diverse. So it's like the A to Z of energy. It's all in there.
The states of Koshrai, Pohnpei, Chuuk and Yap, boasting over 600 unique islands, make up the FSM. Pohnpei, the seat of the FSM government, enjoys 24-hour electricity supply, but it comes at a high cost. Supply generated from the Pohnpei Utilities Corporation for its 6,500 customers is fully dependent on fossil fuels.
The major challenge we have now is the cost of producing 1 kilowatt hour. Nowadays it's very expensive with our tariff being low and the cost of fuel and parts and everything is going up, making us very hard to deliver the service. Our tariff at this time is 49 cents per kilowatt hour. Base charge is 10 cents and 39 cents goes to fuel.
Hydro once generated 5% of Pohnpei's electricity. Here, Nanpil Hydro Power Station lies dormant after a flood in 2002 shut down its operations. Something that SPC, with the assistance of the Pacific Power Association, is trying to rectify through the EU-funded NorthRep project.
Part of the BPA work is to help the utility in the region build up their renewable energy capacity. So I'm assisting, working with SPC to draft a scope of work for the refurbishment of the Nanapil hydropower plant. As you can see, the intake needs a bit of work, also needs a bit of cleaning up inside the head pond, and the same thing goes to the powerhouse. So the main thing is that the infrastructure is still there. So the biggest costly component still exists, and it would be good for the country to get some renewable energy and reduce the fuel dependence.
Just over 700 kilometers west of Pohnpei is the largest of the four states, Chuuk. Tourism drives the economy here, mostly drawing those who come to dive the World War II wrecks littered throughout the lagoon. But lack of access to energy poses a great challenge to the economy.
We have responsibility for utility provision throughout the state of Chuuk, but in reality we're just providing services here on Wurno at the moment. So we're producing power probably 14 hours out of 24, and we were also having to ration power across the different feeders on the island, so it was very intermittent. In the last year we've managed to get new generators in place, and we've just got back to 24-hour generation.
Chuuk is a peculiar state in the fact that it holds the largest population for FSM, but the only island in which we have infrastructure is hosting only 14,000 people out of the 60,000 people of Chuuk state approximately. All the other people have no access to electricity today. So when we're looking at energy access, which is one of the main goals of the project, we're looking at Chuuk mainly.
Today, Emanuele and a team of health, education and public utilities personnel have come to Pfeffen Island, south of Wurno. They're here to conduct site inspections for the NorthRep project.
So one of the key items in our project is to provide basic electricity services to at least 10,000 people, which is 25% of the people that have no access today. One of the ways of doing it is to basically electrify the school with solar, and as of today we have 9 sites in Chuuk state. Each site has an elementary school, 5 of these sites has also a dispensary, and of these 2 have a high school. So we are trying to consolidate as many public facilities as possible on the same piece of public land and electrify the 1, 2 or 3 facilities in the same site with one system.
Sapporo High School, the second largest in the lagoon, has an enrollment of 260 students. The building renovations will be ready before the new term and installation of solar panel equipment later in the year. Plans also include a lantern charging station. Students will receive 2 lanterns which they can charge for a small fee. In the meantime, classes are being held at the Catholic Church Hall on the other side of the island.
We have been here for 6 months now. The students comes from the various islands, different islands in the lagoon. Particularly from the southern Ramonas region, from Uman, Param Seas, but most of the students from Pfeffen. The electricity from the solar panel will help the school a lot by allowing us to have computer classes, use other appliances that we may need for instructions.
Kuku, another community on Pfeffen, has both an elementary school and health dispensary. This particular dispensary caters for the most populated area on the island.
At the moment, my understanding is that when a patient stays overnight, you need to put a kerosene lantern, and the health assistant is paying to provide the kerosene. And when you have to store some vaccination or some medicine and you don't have any small refrigerator for that, the medicines go off and you cannot keep vaccinations. So this is some of the key items, providing lighting for the night for our inpatients and providing service for vaccination.
The projects that are implemented through NorthRep, they become the responsibility of CPUC to operate and maintain and to renew in the future. We've got an MOU with the state which provides for payment for the services that are provided. And the way it's structured is that we cover our operation maintenance costs, and we also put money aside for renewal of the infrastructure at the end of its useful life. So the intention is that it's sustainable.
The project is improving standard of lives out there in the islands or the communities, especially the ones that we have completed. In fact, I visited a few of those sites and I could see the change. People of the state of Truk are thankful to EU especially, and SPC, SOPAC, and all of those regional agencies that have been involved in providing the funds, technical assistance to us.
Often, reaching the relatively remote outer islands can be quite difficult. The Republic of the Marshall Islands, for instance, consists of 29 atolls spread across 180 square kilometers of deep blue sea.
One of the issues that we have with this program, way before NorthRep came in, is the sustainability of the project. Given the geographical locations, it's always hard to collect the tariff from these households in the outer islands. So we approached WUTMI, Women's United Together in the Marshall Islands, and we partnered up to look at the option of using handicrafts as a form of payment for electricity.
The handicraft trial is being piloted on Ano, the closest atoll to the capital, Majuro. The journey here takes around 3 hours. The Marshall's national energy policy aims to achieve 100% electrification by 2015 and 20% renewable energy by 2020. The NorthRep project will assist by installing 1,500 solar systems in households across 14 atolls, much like Ano. And if the handicraft trial proves successful here in Tinak Ano, it could also be replicated among the other more remote atolls as well.
It's much easier to do work like weaving at night, and for also making copra, all kinds of handicraft. Before we can do all this during the day only, because you cannot see at night. But now we have this solar power where we can weave, we can do copra, and many other. Students can read, do their homework, and it's much easier. Life is much easier. And I think with the outer island having the solar power, the men and women work together, like making, some men, they make handicraft also.
The finished products are taken to be sold in Majuro. One large woven bag can pay for up to 6 months of equipment maintenance fees to the Marshall's Energy Company.
MEC has been requested to assist the government in looking after, installing and maintaining the PV systems that are being installed in the outer islands of the country. They pay a monthly fee, which was originally $12 per month, and then the government reduced it back in 2009 to $5 a month. And that was as a response to the 2008, when the price of oil shot up high. Price of food products here in the RMI almost doubled in prices for many months, and it was extremely hard for the people in the outer islands.
NorthRep is assisting MEC with resources needed to operate and maintain the solar systems, whilst also looking to address energy efficiency. the Ministry of Resources and Development is taking a lead role in promoting energy efficiency in the Marshall Islands. It piloted a retrofitting of air conditioning in its building, which resulted in a huge reduction in electricity use. In its efforts to promote renewable energy and energy efficiency, the Nitijela, or Parliament of the RMI, passed an act in 2011 to exempt an import tax of 8% on all renewable energy and energy efficiency equipment. In fact, the benefits stretch far beyond monetary gains. Palau's captivating beauty, intriguing history, and appeal to adventure seekers attracts some 100,000 visitors to its shores each year. As part of safeguarding its natural environment and promoting economic self-sufficiency, Palau has set a goal of achieving 20% renewable energy and 30% energy efficiency by the year 2020.
I'd like to make Palau a model in the Pacific of being the first to meet its goals of becoming more and more reliant upon renewable energy and less on fossil fuel. It's a small island nation. We have a lot of sunshine, we have wind, and therefore we like to move in that direction. Of course, we all know that to convert from fossil fuel to renewable energy is very costly, but in the long run it pays off. A lot of benefits in terms of cutting costs of generating power. At the same time, green energy provides a win-win situation, not only in terms of providing energy, but in terms of mitigating the impact of climate change.
Palau's Energy Office is tasked with implementing the national energy policy. One way it sought to achieve its targets is through an innovative partnership with the National Development Bank. In addition to the bank's renewable energy and energy efficiency subsidy loans on the construction of new homes, a third loan concept, retrofitting, is now being introduced with funding from the North Rep.
We're retrofitting homes to make them more energy efficient for existing home clients. We look at their 6 months energy bill to see what average they have for energy cost. The renovation estimate, as well as a sort of a simple design of what is going to be changed in the homes. And with the North Rep grants, we will be able to give them some subsidy so that the cost for renovating the homes is not that expensive.
Palau's energy consumption is still 98% dependent on fossil fuels. But making changes towards renewable energy are already quite evident.
Just recently, we adopted a net metering bill, a law, which is now a law in Palau. So if you put in a renewable energy into the system, you get compensated for providing the power to the utility, and then of course for your own benefit. So it has worked really well. We also are working with our utility company, the Palau Public Utilities Corporation, in promoting renewable energy, as well as assisting the utility to be efficient in running their power systems.
The Palau Public Utilities Corporation, PPUC, set up a renewable energy division in 2010. Its main task, to steer initiatives aimed at meeting Palau's ambitious energy targets.
But they're really tasked with the future of PPUC as a power supplying company to chart our course. And of course, that is under the guidance of North Rep and the Palau Energy Office. Like many of the Pacific Island countries, we know that it's not realistic to look at a future based on diesel generation. But we also know it's not realistic to switch tomorrow all to renewable energy. The technology is still emerging and is still developing, and so we need expertise such as through Northrep to guide us through these challenges. And so that's the kind of assistance and direction that we look forward from this partnership, and we look forward to a long partnership.
I think it's an opportunity for the region, for this side of the Pacific, to demonstrate the current vision of the framework, the regional framework on energy, the vision being an energy secure Pacific. If we all put our hands together, heads together to work with a common goal of an energy secure Pacific, I think this is the way to go.
At the end of the day, the Northrep project is about improving livelihoods, and an energy secure Pacific underpins the leader's vision for a region of peace, harmony, security, and economic prosperity, where its people, including future generations, can lead free and prosperous lives.